Dear students, let us continue the chapter Force and Laws of Motion. Galileo's experiment of motion of an object on an inclined plane. Galileo, by observing the motion of an object on an inclined plane, he deduced that objects move with a constant speed when no force acts on them. He observed when a marble rolled down on an inclined plane, its velocity increases. And when it goes up on a second inclined plane, its velocity decreases. Is it? So, if this inclination of both the planes are of equal height, then the marble will reach the same height which when it was rolled down. So if the inclination of the second plane is decreased, you can see here, as the inclination of the second plane is decreased, it will travel more distance. It has to travel more distance compared to the first plane. Okay. So as this is made horizontal, as the inclination of the second plane is made horizontal, what happens? The marble will travel forever trying to reach the same height. But an unbalanced force is required to change the motion of the marble, but no force is needed to make that marble to move in uniform motion. Okay, this was the observation made by Galileo. In practical situation, it is difficult to achieve a zero unbalanced force. This is because of the presence of frictional force. So, there is a frictional force acting opposite to the direction of motion. Thus, in practice, the marble stops after traveling some distance. The effect of frictional force may be minimized by using smooth marble and a smooth plane, providing lubricants on the top of the plane. But here the Galileo's experiment, so according to Galileo, a uniform motion in a straight line did not require any force to maintain it. This was found by his experiment. That means a body which is in uniform motion, which is in a straight line, it do not require any force to continue its state of motion. So, if a body is in motion, it will continue to move with the same speed and along with the same straight line, same direction, if it is left to itself and no external force influence act on it. Okay, this was the observation of Galileo by his experiment. So, by observing the motion of the objects on the inclined plane, Galileo deduced this conclusion that objects move with a constant speed. But Newton further studied Galileo's ideas on force and motion and presented three fundamental laws which governs the motion of an object. These three laws are known as Newton's laws of motion. So, Newton's laws of motion were Sir Isaac Newton was an English scientist. In 1667, he developed three laws of motion that described the movement of objects in terms of force. So, motion of the object in terms of force was explained in these laws. So, this laws of motion still holds good true today. Okay. So, the first law, what it says? So, as we all know, any object which is at rest, for example, if you take a pen which is kept on a table, whether it is going to move by itself? No. So, it will not move by itself. So, when we apply a force, external unbalanced force, when it is applied, then only that object is going to move. Is it? So, if we throw a ball on a ground, it will roll and it stops after some time. Why it stops? Because of frictional force acting on that ball in the opposite direction. So, if we consider a frictionless surface, then the ball may just move without stopping with the same speed. So but in practice it is not possible because there is a frictional force. So the Newton's first law of motion states that an object or any body remains in its state of rest, or it may remain in the uniform motion in a straight line until it is acted upon by an external unbalanced force. This is the statement of Newton's first law. Newton gave a law which is termed as Newton's first law. What it states? It states that a body remains in a state of rest or a body remains in a uniform motion along a straight line. It remains at rest or it remains in uniform motion until it is acted upon by an external force. Until we apply external force, that body continues to be in the state of rest or it continues to be in the same state of motion. So this is the statement of Newton's first law. Once again I'll repeat. Newton's first law states that a body remains in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is acted upon by an external unbalanced force. This Newton's first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. Why it is called as law of inertia? What do you mean by inertia then? So, inertia means it is the property of a body or any object which opposes the change of its state of rest or state of motion. This property of a body is called as inertia. That means a body which is at rest try to remain at rest only. In the same way, a body which is in motion tends to be in the same state of motion. So this property of a body is called as inertia. So we can tell it as it is the natural tendency of an object to oppose or resist the change in their state of rest or uniform motion is called as inertia. Do all objects have inertia? Yes, all objects are having inertia. Inertia of an object is depending on mass of a body. So the mass of an object is a measure of its inertia. So how it depends, let us study in the next coming slides. So now inertia is of three types. So this tendency of a body to oppose or resist any change in its state of rest or of uniform motion are of three types. That is inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction. So there are three types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction. First let us study the what it is. What is inertia of rest, what is inertia of motion and what is inertia of direction. So inertia of rest means a body tries to remain at rest unless an external force act on it. So a body tries to remain at rest. A body at rest remains at rest unless an external force act on it. This is called as inertia of rest. In the same way, a body which is in uniform motion continues to travel in a straight line unless it is acted by an external force on it. So this is inertia of motion. That means a body which is in motion tries to remain in motion. A body which is at rest tries to remain at rest. Okay. So inertia of direction means a body in uniform motion continues to travel in a straight line unless an external force acts on it to change its direction. So until the force is applied, it tries to remain in the same state of motion, that is along a straight line. If the force is applied to change the direction, till then the body tries to remain in the same state of motion. So this is inertia of direction. Okay, these are the three types of inertia. So let us study one by one examples for inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction. So you may clearly understand what is inertia of rest. So inertia of rest means it is a tendency of a body to oppose any change in its state of rest. So for example, when a tree you all have experienced, so when a tree is vigorously shaken, what happens? The leaves fall off from the tree, or not only leaf, also the fruits. If it is a fruit plant, so fruits also fall off from the tree. So you all will do this activity, is it? So when the mango, if it is a small tree, we can just shake it and the mangoes will fall down. So what is the reason here? That is the because of inertia of rest. That means when a tree is shaken, what happens? The branches of the tree come in motion, but the leaves and the fruits tend to continue in the same state of rest. It tries to remain at rest. That is because of inertia of rest. The fruits and leaf try to remain at rest position only, but the branches move, due to which, as a result of this, leaves get separated or fruits get separated from the branches of the tree when it is shaken. The fruits and leaf try to remain at rest and the branches move. So this gets detached from the branches and it hence fall down. You can see here the leaf and fruits which falls when it is made to shake. Okay, so this is because of inertia of rest. This is the example of inertia of rest. In the same way, when the hanging carpet is beaten with a stick, what happens? Dust will fall off. So why it is so? This is also because of inertia of rest. So what happens when the carpet is beaten? It comes in motion. So what happens? The dust particle but remains at rest. What happens? Due to inertia. So here the dust falls off due to the force of gravity. The dust particle which remains at the same position, but the carpet moves backward, due to which the dust falls down due to force of gravity. Okay, so dusting a carpet, here it is because of inertia of rest. In the same way, you may have experienced when you are traveling in a vehicle. For example, here they have taken. So when a car starts suddenly or a bus starts suddenly, what happens? The passengers move backward. Sometimes you may have experienced suddenly when the vehicle starts, we passengers move backwards, we lean backwards. That is because when the vehicle starts suddenly, the lower part of the body which is in contact with the car gets in motion because it is in contact with the vehicle. As the vehicle starts, our lower part of our body starts moving, but the upper part is still at rest. So due to inertia of rest, the passenger moves backward. Okay, so this is the example for inertia of rest. In the same way, you may have played the carom board, is it? So when you start playing, so when the striker hits a pile of coins, when you keep a set of coins on a carom board and you just try to hit the lower coin, what happens? The lowest coin moves out, but due to inertia of rest, what happened? The other coins fall down. It does not happen always. Sometimes you may have experienced it. The whole pile of coin will come down, only leaving the lower coin which moves off. So this is because of inertia of rest. So this is the example for inertia of rest. In the same way, if you take an example, if a coin is placed, you may have played this. If a coin is placed on a playing board, a playing card over a tumbler, and when it is given a kick, flicked, when it is force is applied on this, what happens is, due to inertia of rest, the coin will fall down into the tumbler and this playing card moves off, flies off. When this flies off, this coin which is due to inertia of rest, it will remain at rest so that it falls down into the glass tumbler. Okay, so if a coin placed on a playing cardboard over a tumbler is flicked with a finger, this because of the inertia of rest, the coin falls down into the tumbler. Okay, so this is because of inertia of rest. So now next let us study about inertia of motion. Let us see what are the examples of inertia of motion. So what is inertia of motion? That is the tendency of a body to oppose any change in state of uniform motion. Is known as inertia of motion. Let us see some examples here. So you have experienced it when our body is in motion. Suddenly when it stops. For example, a passenger fall forward when a fast moving bus stops suddenly. So you may also have experienced when traveling in a bus. Suddenly when the brake is applied, what happens? We fall forward. Yes, we just move forward. Our body part, the upper body part move forward. This is because the lower part of the body of the passenger come to rest as soon as the bus stops. But the upper part of our body, what happens, continues to move forward due to inertia of motion. So due to inertia of motion, our upper part of lower part comes to rest, but our upper part, due to inertia of motion, what happens, will continue to be in the same state of motion. So this is the example of inertia of motion. In the same way, when you are traveling in a car, when the brake is applied, the passenger gets pushed off forward. So when a car stops suddenly, the lower part of a body which is in contact with the car, it gets stopped, but the upper part is still in motion due to inertia. Hence the passenger is pushed forward. Due to this reason only, the car is provided with a seat belt. Yes, you have observed the car is having a seat belts, right? So it is instructed to wear a seat belt, is it? So because due to inertia of motion, what happens, if there is some accident or if there is a sudden brake when it is applied, what happens, we fall forward. There may be injury for the person who is sitting inside the vehicle. So if the seat belt is there, so it may be avoided. Okay, so this is because of inertia of motion. Next, it is also dangerous to jump out of a moving bus. What happens if we jump when the bus is moving? So we have to move along the direction of that motion of that bus only. If you just stop there, what happens? Our upper part of our body, which is in motion, continues to be in the state of motion, but when our lower part, legs, when we touch it to the ground, it comes to rest. So we may fall forward. Okay, you can see here in the picture this person when he jumps from the bus, so he has fallen, he fall on the ground where he may get hurt. So when we jump from a moving bus, our feet which is in contact with the ground comes to rest, but our upper body remains in motion. So due to inertia of motion. Okay, so these are the examples of inertia of motion. Now let us see inertia of direction. So here the tendency of a body to remain at the same state of motion unless an external force is applied to change its direction. So example, when a fast moving bus takes a sharp curve, what happens? We lean towards our right or left depending on the curve which side it is taken, is it? So this is due to tendency of the passenger to continue to move in the straight line motion. Okay, so we fall towards the center of the curved road. So this is because of inertia of direction. So when a car or a bus takes a sharp turn, we tend to fall sideways. Yeah, when a car takes a sharp turn, the lower part of the body which is in contact with the car also takes the sharp turn, but the upper part which is not having any support, it is still moving in a straight line due to inertia of direction. Hence the passenger fall sideways. Okay, so which side the curve is taken, in that way we are going to lean. So, as I told earlier, inertia is a measure of mass. So, inertia and mass. So, inertia is depending on mass. So, all the above examples and activities which is given so far, which tells us that there is a resistance offered by an object to change its state of motion. If it is at rest, it tends to remain at rest. If it is moving, it tends to be moving. So this property of an object is called its inertia. Whether all bodies have the same inertia? Yes, dear students. Do all bodies have in the same inertia? No. We know that it is easier to push an empty box than a box full of books. So the empty box is lighter compared to the box which is filled with books. It is heavier. Similarly, if we kick a football, it flies away. In the same way, if we kick a stone of same size with equal force, it hardly moves, is it? So it is not going to fly off. It moves little bit there itself. So here clearly it is clear that heavier or more massive objects offer larger inertia. That means inertia is depending on mass. The inertia of a body is measured by the magnitude of force required to change its state of the body. So the force required to change the state of a heavier body is more than the force required to change the state of a lighter body. So inertia, if you compare here it is of smaller box and this is of bigger box. So the force required is more here. Here also the force is less if we compare these two. So where the inertia is more? The inertia is more here because the force required is more. That means mass of an object is more, due to which inertia is more. So this is because the mass of the heavier body is more than the mass of the lighter body. So inertia offered is more here. Here the inertia is less. So the mass of a body is a measure of its inertia. The mass of an object is measured by measure of its inertia. Okay, so it depends, inertia of an object depends on mass of an object. So a heavier object is having more inertia compared to the lighter objects. Okay, so this is about Newton's first law of motion. So Newton's first law of motion is also called as law of inertia due to this reason. So I hope you have understood all the examples related to types of inertia, that which you may also have experienced these examples which I have explained in this video. Yeah, I hope you have understood. Thank you.